We are back with a new episode of the Agent P Show. Your host here, Phillip Salem, or as everyone calls me, Agent P. I am your NYC and LA-based real estate agent known as hashtag the Bi-Coastal Baddie, now also with a podcast where all are welcomed. We are dedicating this season in honor of my sweet angel cookie dough, who recently crossed the Rainbow Bridge. My husband and I adopted her from Animal Haven, a rescue here in NYC dedicated to finding homeless dogs their forever homes. To learn more about Animal Haven, visit animalhaven.org for information on adopting, volunteering, or donating, and be sure to watch Season 1, Episode 3 featuring Tiffany Lacey, the director of Animal Haven. We love you, Cookie. Thank you so much for tuning in. My next guest is an award-winning and innovative digital media executive and founder and CEO of So.Gay, a new LGBTQ plus culture brand that merges premium content with can't-miss in-person events and activations. He has worked in the media vertical for 14 plus years and was formerly a VP and executive at Yahoo, Verizon, AOL, and Food 52. These are big names, people. His name is Alex Hughes, and he's in the Agent P studio right now. Alex, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. You know, I always like to start the show with how we met.
Yes.
And I think I started following So.Gay on Instagram, and then you sent me a DM, and you're like, I'm having this amazing party. You got to come. And I have pictures from that party that are going to pop up. So this is your opening, your launch party of some. To say that's Lucas. We love Lucas.
Yes.
He was the cover. Look at this moment. And then we didn't get a photo together, but I got a picture with Lucas, which was festive.
Because I remember I saw your Instagram and I saw you wear a lot of Lucas stuff.
Yes.
And also, I mean, CJR, everything's so good. And I was like, we have to connect. We have to meet.
Yeah, and I'm so happy that we did.
Yes.
And now you're on the show.
Exactly. Thank you so much for having me.
Of course. And I want to, for the people that do not know what So.Gay is, what in a bubble is So.Gay?
Totally. So.Gay is a new cultural destination for the queer community. Ultimately, at our heart, we're a digital content destination where you have articles, videos covering everything that 18 to 34-year-old queer consumers are interested in. So whether that's culture, pop culture, travel, health, dating, sex, relationships. So that's our core, our digital destination content home. And then we are really focused on being a 360-degree brand. So that brings in things like events, experiences, commerce, community activations, really making sure that we can connect with people, not just digitally, but in person as well. So we had our launch party, which you were able to come to.
It was epic.
So
if you
good.
missed it, you got to come to the next one.
Exactly. So really about making this like a living, breathing brand.
How did you come up with the name So.Gay?
I wish I had like some amazing story for it, but I think the best names are super simple.
Yeah.
Especially for something like a URL, you want it to be simple, straightforward, easy to remember and type out. So I remember when I was hunting for domain names, I saw it. I was like, this is perfect.
Yeah.
So latched onto it from there.
It really is. And, you know, and with that being said, you told me that you want to feature premium content to entertain and engage the queer community set or the queer consumer set. Why is it so important to support queer change makers and businesses via your platform?
Totally. So where I think about our content is I want to make sure that the artists, creators, entrepreneurs, business owners, they have another platform to really get their word out, to educate and entertain our audience. So that's something that I'm super excited by.
Okay.
And then I do think also when you look at queer health, queer media, there is a lack of knowledge, a really kind of information available to our community, whether it's things like DoxyPep or PrEP, things that people in New York might be super familiar with. But if you're like me, who was in Indiana when I was growing up, you might not be aware of that in the same way that we are here in New York. So I really think that there is a new opportunity to really create more content that's both educational, entertaining, and fun.
We were just talking before we started rolling. You're from Indiana, I'm from Ohio. And I think what you said just now was perfect because I remember growing up in Ohio, I'm like, I had nowhere to find out about the queer culture, the gay culture, or feel like I was a part of any type of community.
Completely.
In college, I was one of two people on the LGBTQ,
Yeah.
you know, club.
Yeah.
So this was 2006, but it's just amazing how far we've come. But there's still so much more that we need to do.
Completely.
You know, you have an editorial program tied to queer-owned small businesses. You've already highlighted and uplifted 20 plus queer-owned businesses. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Totally. What I'm thinking about when we are looking at businesses is there kind of a unique point of view? And also what I'm always super excited about, whether it's an influencer or a business owner, I really think about, okay, who hasn't gotten press coverage yet? Who's underserved and might not have a publicist or a PR team? Who's that person that has 2,000 followers on their brand account now, but oh my gosh, they're gonna be able to grow so much more. So I'm super excited about looking at those and making sure whether they're across technology or fashion design or what have you, that we're able to connect and talk with those entrepreneurs and help get them some great press coverage. Hopefully other people, other writers, editors will see our coverage of them as well, and they'll continue to reach more people and educate folks about their business.
I think you mentioned to me also that you want to showcase over 100 queer-owned businesses in the next year.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah. We have a bunch of stuff in the pipeline that I'm super excited about. But yeah, targeting about 100 by end of year and only increasing further from there.
Yeah. I was so lucky to have a feature on So.Gay. We're going to pull that one up right now. So I was, I think I'm a little emotional seeing it because of all the press that I've been in. Being in front of a queer audience is one of the most important things for me. The interviewer, Jamie, who interviewed me, he captured what I wanted to say perfectly. I think at the end of the article, I say something with the queer community that we're always told, growing up or, even in the corporate world or non-corporate world, is that we will not be good enough to climb the ladder. We will not be good enough to excel at what we do. And at the end of the article, it was just like Phillip's main mission is to help queer people realize their highest potential. Completely. And that's what I really like to do. And being featured in your magazine, your online digital platform was, very inspiring for me. So thank you for that.
Yes.
There's a picture that I took for some social because I was like, I'm going to be so gay in some of these photos for social, and this picture specifically is I felt very ex-Tina stripped.
I love it.
With the bodysuit, and it just also is a big fuck you to everybody who told me I can't be somebody, who I am. So I thought that was just a very empowering moment for me, and I hope to inspire people.
Completely.
And the same way that you do throughout all the articles on your website.
Thank you. And I mean, I was thinking about your interview whenever I was getting ready today because I loved, what you jumped out to me in the interview is how you were like, okay, I got this kind of instruction as a real estate agent.
So
men wear suits, women wear dresses. This is your expectation. And that was something where when I worked in tech, it was much more kind of loosey-goosey clothing. So I always felt comfortable with that. But in this new role and even coming today, I was like, I want to look super professional, but also anyone who knows me, I always wear tank tops. So I'm literally I want to be comfortable. I want to be myself. I want to be my authentic self, look nice, but we shouldn't let these just standards hold us back from being comfortable.
And they're so arbitrary. Ultimately, you can wear whatever you want. It doesn't matter if you're coming on a podcast, you're going to a business meeting, you're meeting with, a $1 billion company. You should be able to wear however makes you feel happy and makes you express yourself. And I think even doing that photo shoot for the social post for the article that I was featured in, it was just so liberating. And, I come off as I wear whatever I want when I want, but obviously there's that piece in my head that's always like, Phillip, don't do that. You're going to lose business. You're not going to get that client. You're not going to do this. So when I got this So.Gay feature, I was like, you know what? I can be so gay and just be who I am. And I hope all platforms moving forward showcase that a bit more or uplift that a bit more.
Completely.
I went on your website this morning and some of the headlines, I just want to, tell the audience so people get a glimpse of what we're working with here. How the CEO of Everything Gay is helping increase access to life-saving PrEP. That's one of the articles. Aaron Westbrook's Ebony Voyage is increasing visibility for Black creators and businesses. And then 69 hot picks from Zoo, Brooklyn's best
Yes.
weekly queer dance party. So with that being said, what makes something newsworthy on So.Gay?
Totally. What's newsworthy for me is primarily if there's a story that hasn't been told. I'm not super focused on kind of A-list stars or talent that's doing kind of a standard PR cycle, because I want to cover a story where we can get something new, where we can get something fresh for our audience. And that's also just like really unique and interesting. So that comes with people like that we focused on, like you, our cover stars like Linux or David Christian or John Ali. These people that have a strong point of view and really have something to say that's fresh and unique.
Yeah, I think that goes into the next question I was going to ask. What do you want people to take away after going on So.Gay? What do you want them to carry on the day with after they go on?
I mean, I think the biggest thing is I always want media that's evergreen, that's lifestyle, like a So.Gay platform, to be a bit of a break for someone. If they're on their lunch break, if they're reading it on the subway, if they're scrolling while they're working at home, sitting on their couch, wherever, I want this to be a fun escape, whether you are learning about Mr. with Tristan for the first time ever, and you do sign up to get a prep subscription, or if you are looking at amazing fun pics from Zoo, whether you live here in Brooklyn or if you're visiting and trying to find out the hottest party. So I really just want to be like an escape and fun and educational.
Which it
is. We're very focused on being evergreen and lifestyle. We're not a news site, so I really want to be an escape in people's day.
I keep saying your website or your magazine. What's the correct way to, talk about So.Gay?
I would say, website and digital magazine is the easiest to say it. I think that's what is understood most.
Okay. Your background is quite illustrious, 14 plus years in the digital media platform market. Why did you decide to go out on your own and create this? And it's under your brand, the Hughes brand too. Can you tell me a bit about that?
Totally. So.Gay initially is my main priority project. Ultimately, I do want to launch other lifestyle, content-led, ad-supported businesses long-term, but this is very much the primary focus now, and I foresee long-term as well. I had great corporate jobs that were amazing. I learned tons, whether it was at AOL, Yahoo, Verizon Media, Food 52. Always in the back of my head, I always wanted to be my own boss, do my own thing. And I also really saw that this community was being underserved with the type of content that was being created for us. So when I looked at the media landscape, all the different changes that are happening, pullbacks on production, layoffs, different things like that, I definitely saw an immediate opportunity that aligned with my career focus of wanting to jump out and do my own thing, and also really seeing the availability in the market. So it was a perfect timing. I started developing it at the end of last year. We launched in April. Have had really great success growing since then, and everything happens for a reason.
When I go on the site, it is just so clean and fun and colorful. It actually makes me very happy talking about it, as you can see in my face and my voice right now. It's just a fun site. You have this franchise, or you have this feature called the Hottest Ever Franchise. Tell me more about that.
Totally. So that is our monthly digital cover feature that has everything like a standard magazine cover, obviously digitally though, full 360-degree interview feature, social video content, etc. Our first feature was with Lucas Stowe.
We love Lucas.
We love
Shout
Lucas.
out to Lucas.
Not only so talented, but also so gorgeous. And he was our very first feature, the best first feature we possibly could have had. And this is something where we're really able to partner with amazing creative directors, amazing photographers, amazing stylists, and pairing them with amazing creators who are really doing great things. So we've highlighted folks like Lucas Stowe, Linux, John Ali, Matthew Cancel, David Christian, all who have a really specific point of view and created a really amazing content.
This is all since April. So you
all
just
since
named all
April.
those people, and it's, not even the end of summer right now. So that's crazy.
Yeah.
One thing with Lucas, besides being this amazing fashion designer and entrepreneur, I went on his site to, get one of his crystallized tanks. And I remember I wore it to the Compass holiday party.
Yes.
And it was a moment for me because I was like, you know what, I'm just going to show everybody who I am and just like
Exactly.
be super gay and so gay,
Yeah.
no pun intended.
Yeah. And like you're buying from a queer designer.
Exactly.
Completely. Yeah. He does absolutely great stuff.
One of the big things on your site is uplifting and representing the full scale of the LGBTQ plus community. Tell me a little bit about how you're pushing diversity onto your website.
Totally. I think at least when and I've heard the feedback from other folks is that, and also having worked in media for a long time, most people that you see on media sites are typically male, they're typically white, they're typically cisgender, they're typically straight. And I really want to make sure that all the content, both historically that I've done at my previous businesses, but also as So.Gay, is truly representative of the community.
Yeah.
So that means everyone from 18 to 34 years old. That means folks who are different races, who have different points of view, who have different backgrounds, who might not be the traditional model with an agent. How do we make sure that it's truly reflective of our audience? So that's something that I'm super focused on, making sure that we are accomplishing every single day. And we've gotten great feedback that it is very much a differentiator in the space compared to our competitors, compared to just kind of the media landscape in general.
You also told me behind the scenes that it's not only about diversity in front of the magazine, it's also behind the scenes.
Totally. I think there's lots of different opportunities when it comes to identifying creators that aren't the standard huge photographers that have worked for magazines for 20 different years, really being able to work with different folks across the board who are amazing photographers, amazing creative directors, amazing writers, editors, and really making sure that whether they're in New York or across the US or even internationally, that we're really all representing different points of view, different experiences, because that's how we're able to get the best content.
I think and I want to go into the in real life events because that's a big thing with So.Gay. Going to your event, just seeing the type of the diversity that was there. I've networked with so many people. I met so many great people. I've been to a lot of these, gay parties where it's one specific type of person where I feel like a little bit of an outsider is like, I don't know, just I don't look like everybody there. I'm not having the same mindset as everybody there. But when I went to your party, it was just like everybody was just so open and loving and accepting, and there were so many types of people there that, it was a good feeling.
Completely.
So tell me a little bit more about the future of the in real life events that you want to,
Completely.
Yeah.
And I love hearing that feedback because that's what we heard from different folks as well. And obviously I'm saying this as a white gay man, but we had so much great feedback of folks who were like, this is one of the first gay parties I've been to where I see other people who look like me or dress like me or work in a similar field. It was something that was really exciting to hear that feedback, that it was coming through without our saying it.
Yeah.
On the event side of things, so we had our launch party. We're going to be having another party end of Q3, beginning of
Love
Q4.
it. I'll be there.
Yes, you'll be getting the invite hopefully soon. But really looking at a couple of different things. One, what I love about the media landscape is that so many folks connect these flagship events with the brand. And that's when you kind of think of the brand. You think of the VMAs when it comes to MTV. You think of the Met Galas associated with Vogue. You think of the GQ Man of the Year party when you think of GQ. So what are these flagship moments and programs that we can have on a regular cadence that connects with our audience?
Nice.
So we're going to have an event at the end of the year called the Hottest Ever Honors that's really focused on bringing all of our different folks that are from the franchise, really kind of making it that GQ Man of the Year type experience, and really just having amazing, fun experiences.
Yeah.
That's how we can connect with individuals on a one-to-one basis, but also that's how we connect with other people's communities that attend as well. And really making sure that this is a living, breathing brand. Long term, we're also thinking about, okay, what are potential monthly events that are consumer led? what is potentially even bigger and better, like an award show or concerts or music festivals, et cetera. That's definitely more long term because I want to make sure that we're growing appropriately and not trying to do some huge 10,000 person thing tomorrow.
Yeah.
But really making sure that we can connect with folks on a regular basis, so that also they can meet people like you. They can meet new friends. They can network. They can have fun. They can connect with their own friends, and really just have a great, fun time.
I feel like even though you're in the digital world where everybody lives behind their phone or, in front, and behind a screen, whatever, you're actually bringing that to real life, which is refreshing, rather than just seeing the article or seeing this person featured in Hottest Franchise Ever. I can meet them. I can talk to them. I can communicate. I can network. So, which is a good feeling.
Yeah, and I feel like we're all just craving. I mean, what's fun for me now is like being out and about, and I feel like we all feel that. So it's just like, how can we have more fun?
Yeah, and I don't want to get too political here, but the election year is coming up, and there's so much backlash on the LGBTQ community for no reason. But I want to hear from your perspective. Why do you think people are so threatened by the LGBTQ plus community in stories right now?
Totally. I mean, it's probably a bunch of different reasons. I would say that probably my personal point of view is that a lot of how, I'm trying to think of the right way to say this. I think that non-standard ways of going about life are just sometimes threatening to people. So whether it's having kids later, whether it's getting married later, whether it's just doing things atypical from that kind of standard heteronormative standard, I think can just sometimes feel threatening to people. So it might make them uncomfortable or what have you. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, there's probably a lot of different reasons individually, but that's probably my assumption when I see a consumer or someone that might be scared or uncomfortable. It's just because it's different.
Yeah, I totally agree with you. And I also feel people see the LGBTQ plus community as a threat as well, rather than embracing the creativity and embracing the, extraordinary ideas that we can bring to the table. It's a threat to them. Have you ever experienced backlash with So.Gay with any of the articles that you posted and how have you dealt with that?
We've gotten feedback, I think, with anything. So I used to work at huge platforms where we got user feedback 24/7. I was very used to that process. We used to get daily emails that got like every single piece of user feedback. And so I was just very used to it. What's interesting is I kind of forgot about that when I was developing the business, just because I was working primarily alone, working with freelancers and working with folks, but it was very insular for the first 4 to 6 months. And when I relaunched, I would say the 99.9% of feedback has been overwhelmingly positive. Good. That is something that's needed. That is something that people love. And I think our numbers and our performance and our engagement really proves that, which was really great to see. We've had different feedback around, it's just shirtless guys, or it's just about partying, or this or that. And when
which it's not.
Yes,
chime in real quick.
And like when I've had the conversations with different folks and I was like, did you actually like read the article or actually have you visited our homepage? They're kind of like, no, I haven't. So I think it's easy for everyone to judge a book by its cover. If you see one picture of a hot shirtless guy on our Instagram, yes, if you're just looking at that, you can assume that's what the brand is, but we're so much more. So I would say overwhelmingly it has been positive and always welcome to different feedback. But I think with our focus of making sure that we're representing the entirety of the community and doing it in a really thoughtful way has resonated for the vast majority of folks.
Nice. I only have a few more minutes left with you, but I always like to end my episodes with just like fun fire facts about you. So it's called Philly's 5, and we're just going to go right into it. So who's your favorite singer?
My favorite singer, I always have to go back to Lady Gaga.
Okay, we love Gaga.
Yeah, how can you not?
Are you excited for the movie?
Yes. I mean, I'm not a big comic book or Joker person, but
Okay.
I'm obviously going to watch it. Are you?
I am very excited. I love everything Gaga.
Exactly.
What is your morning routine?
I love
Because you
to
always
wake.
look so fresh.
Oh my
Like, you always
gosh.
look so
Thank
fresh
you.
and put
I
together.
love to
Loving the
wake.
ensemble.
Thank you. I love to wake up early.
Okay.
And my main priority when I have a good day, which is, I mean, in order for me to have a good day, is a long walk outside
Right,
every morning.
nice.
You get the sun, you get the relaxation. I can very specifically tell if I'm like in a bad mood at like 3 p.m. or something, I'm like, oh, it's because I didn't go on a walk today.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your favorite restaurant in New York?
Oh my gosh.
Or favorite clothing
I
designer?
love Le Crocodile for
Okay.
brunch in Williamsburg at the
Okay.
Wythe Hotel.
Cute.
Just like cozy, comfy, great brunch food, great martinis, great staff, everything.
Love that vibe. And then what's the best thing that's happened to you today?
Being here.
We love
This is so
that.
exciting. This is so fun.
We love to hear that. Alex, I want you to give the people a moment to leave with. Any words of advice, anything you want to say, here's your platform.
Oh my gosh, put on the spot. I would say do what makes you happy and follow your dreams. If you're watching this and if you're inspired by either myself or Phillip, just go for it. Just do it.
That is great advice, people. Alex, thank you so much for joining me on this podcast. Before we leave, I'd love to thank our sponsor, Pop-Up Florist. Pop-Up Florist is a female-owned company creating feel-good flowers with innovative designs. And to all those tuning in, you can get a discount at popupflorist.com by using coupon code TheAgentPShow at checkout. Pop-Up Florist ships nationwide. To continue following Alex's journey, follow him on IG at Alex Hughes and at So.Gay. That's SODOTGAY. Thank you for listening and catch you on the next episode of The Agent P Show. Thank you so much for joining the show.
Of course, thank you so much for having me. This is amazing.
Thank you.